Hello out there, and in front of you today is the Steel Will Mini Intrigue. And this is a new release, a new for 2018 design that just came out a week or so ago. And this is one of those budget-friendly EDCs from Steel Will where you get D2 tool steel and FRN handle scales for right around the $40 price point. Now this is the mini version. There is a larger version that is available as well. I think that one comes in at 3.6 inches of cutting edge. This one is sort of right around 3. And you know, this is just a really cool looking design, reminiscent to me of a number of Jerry McGinnis designs, and McGinnis is one of my favorite designers of all time, so certainly just like the shape of the handle reminds me of that. But I'm really not going to get into too many details about the knife because there is a video out there that I think covered it really, really well, and I'm going to just link to that down below. That's from Slicey Dicey. A lot of you are probably already subscribed to him. He does a great job with his reviews, and he did a comparison between this knife and the Spyderco Delica that I just got. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I enjoyed the shit out of that video. It was really good. It was really well done, thoughtful. He's so well spoken and has some very sound ideas. So if you want to know a little bit more about the knife, definitely check out that video. This one though is going to be all about disassembly, because what I have found with Steel Wills, and this one is certainly one of them, and then my modus is that the flipping action just isn't that great. And it isn't great out of box, and then it breaks in a little bit, but it still isn't that great. And I didn't think that was the case the first time I had one, because the first modus that I had was for a giveaway, and that knife had really good action and good lockup. And then the second modus that I got, not so much, you know. And then when this one was unboxed just a few minutes ago now, same kind of deal. Didn't really have great action. And so here, let me just show you. I mean, I have it right in front of me. So, didn't go all the way. Didn't go all the way. Little bit of like flick movement, and you can get it open, but it just isn't as smooth as I think it should be. So today we're just going to take the knife apart, and I'm going to start doing that right now. And we're going to check out the inside and see what it's all about. I'll talk a little bit more about it as I go. One of the things that was sort of a turn-off with the modus, and let me bring this in and put this at the top. The modus has like a weird checkering pattern on the FRN that I don't know what the design is. It looks almost like a confetti pattern, but from a distance it looks okay, and it definitely feels okay in the hand, but up close it just looks a little bit weird. And the Intrigue, I don't know, just looks a little bit more uniform, consistent. I don't know if those are supposed to be dog bones or the letter I or what. But it achieves what they were shooting for in terms of grippiness while still looking pretty good. So I certainly like that aspect of it. We do have nested liners that you'll see once I get this all taken apart. And sorry this is taking a while, but I'm actually doing it looking through the camera, which is not always the best way. And one thing that I do want to know, I saw a lot of pictures of this knife online, and either I wasn't paying attention or I just missed something, but I didn't really know that the standoffs were blue. So just a really neat touch there. Yeah. And I think at this point we should just be able to, not really, not quite. And I hadn't even tested these screws. One thing that you'll see when you're taking knives apart, especially budget ones, is a lot of times the screws are Loctited so hard into the standoffs or the backspacer that once you remove that first set, that they start to move in tandem, and it makes it a pain in the butt to get them out. I mean, that did not happen here, so that's very cool. Very easy to disassemble, so high marks for that. So let's take a look at our knife. We have bronze washers. See, one of them is still on the blade here. The other one just fell out up here. And here are liners. So really simple. Nothing too crazy when it comes to the construction. The liners are nested, so nice job with that. And I just wanted to take a look at the washers and see if there was a reason for them to, you know, not be as smooth as they could be. And I don't know. So that's what we have on the inside. There is a groove in the washer right here, and I think that just might be for fitting it back against the against the pivot screw, but I'm not sure. That really shouldn't affect anything that I know of. I guess I don't really have to go any further than this, except that I'm going to dye these scales. I just decided that. So let's get the rest of it all the way apart. And I'll follow up with you once I do that and we get this thing back together. Alright guys, so let's get this knife back together. You can see the scales look completely different now. Hopefully in this light you'll be able to see there's a little bit of a fade on the green. It goes pretty dark green at the butt and then goes all the way to a very, very light green. And it's going to be subtle. It's going to be just depending on the sunlight how well you're able to see that. And I like it. I like the way that it came out. I had to pick between only a few different colors because I wanted something that would go with the blue standoff pretty well. Green will do it just fine. I thought I had some gray RIT dye and I was going to just do different shades of gray and that would have been really, really interesting, but didn't have it, so went with green. Like I said, pretty happy with that. The only other thing I did while the camera was off was I polished up these washers. Everything checked out pretty well with the knife, just the fit and finish is not perfect, so you know, just a little bit of the finishing is rough, and these washers are, even though they're like smooth on the face of them, the edges of them are a little bit sharp, and I wonder if any of that sharpness is impacting the actual knife as it rotates when you flip it. So we'll see. If the action is any better, then I'll know I did something okay, and if not, well, then it's probably won't be any worse than it was. So let's start getting the knife back together now. And I've already got the basically the frame of the knife put together, so we'll see how well I can do this on camera. I got pretty lucky with the mini griptilian that I did a while back. So there we go. But overall, a generally simple knife. And it's pretty easy to just get all the pieces sort of right back together without completely having to take everything apart. I mean, as you can see, like right there, I basically was able to do it without really taking all the parts out. So, I mean, that's sort of a good thing, I guess. Let's see what happens when I screw it all back together. That's the key. And yeah, like I said earlier, just really happy with the quality of these body screws. Just the way that they screw in and out. One thing I was worried about was when I disassembled the knife, I'm going to actually put the pivot in next. Sort of worried that I might have gotten some of the screws mixed up. It's happened before when like the pocket clip screws resemble the body screws and you're not really paying attention. And, you know, that happens to be one of those things that I could always get better at. Just focusing on those details when I'm taking things apart and putting them back together, making sure I'm not losing anything, or making sure that I know what pieces go where. It's always good to take pictures. Back in the day, you had to label stuff, and I still label things sometimes when it's a complicated knife, or if there's a ton of pieces. Sometimes I'll go slow with it. But more often than not, I'm just so focused on getting done the job that I want to get done that, I just don't put the time in that is necessary in order to make it happen. We're getting pretty tight here, which is good. That's what we want. One more screw to go here, and then I'll just tighten everything up. And see where we end up. All right, so let's go around. More tightening in each screw. Make sure everything is nice and secure. Good. 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 We'll get the clip on probably after the video's over, so I don't take up any of your time. But let's get this pivot screw a little further in. Centering is actually better now than it was when I got it. It was a little bit off. Yeah, that no. So yeah, it's sort of the same, but still hasn't been lubricated or anything, so it still might have a break-in period. It does actually feel a little bit better than it did, so I'll definitely follow up about this in time. But that is really all I have, guys. Just wanted to show you the inside of the knife, do a quick mod while I was here, and also recommend you go check out Slicey Dicey's video when it comes to the Intrigue, because all the other stuff that you need to know, he will tell you, and he will do it in a really entertaining way. So check him out, and I will talk with you soon. Any other questions, comments, complaints, suggestions, you know where to reach me. Have a good one, and thanks for watching.